Well, welcome. I'm Electra Porzel. I'm the director of the Language of Consciousness Institute. And I've just finished I guess you'd call it the beginnings of a really good conversation about the interactive capability within the human being of both the body, the mind, and the spirit. And trying to put your finger or describe it accurately is a real challenge. And I think it should be, because it's a process and an experience that makes us who we are. And at the same time, many of the ways it functions is almost on an unconscious or unknown level. And if you take the body, like when I was a girl, I went to Catholic elementary school, and they always said the body is the temple of the soul. And I was like, oh, give me a break. And I didn't understand that like I do today. The ancient, the Hindu tradition speaks that the solar plexus is where the soul of the body is held. There are a lot of the ideas, like the temple, the body being a temple, or the solar plexus holding, makes us think that our spirit, that which animates this form that we are, is held within. And I don't think that's true. I really think that there's an interactive point, because the spirit is so strong and so powerful that it wouldn't be held just within the body. And it's the access point. So I'll have to agree with the nuns that it should be honored. I have to agree with the teachers of people who taught me somatic work, that the body should be honored and taken good care of, because it does house, not just for itself. I think a lot of the ways I've been taught as a massage therapist, as a craniosacral therapist, as an energy worker, is that the body itself is an amazing mechanism that's interactive with the outside world and within itself in ways that we are never conscious of. Just like you don't know how, and you don't have to direct the breathing of your lungs. You don't know how your gut brain informs the head brain through the vagus nerve. We now know it does it, but we don't know how it does it. How are those choices made? What factors in the outside world does that microbiome and those glial cells within the gut brain interact with and say, this is life enhancing, this is life defeating, here's a piece of information about what's going on in the outside world, sending it to the head brain through the heart, or the heart sends information as well in response to the head brain. So it's an interactive system of our bodies within the matter of the world, and in interaction with, or response to, or reaction to what our spirit is infusing as far as what is going on, the energies that we should be aware of. And a lot of how we act in the world is in response to those pieces of information coming in, but we're very unconscious about it. You know, like when you say, I've just got a gut sense that I shouldn't do this, or I should have listened to my gut, when you didn't. It's a marvel. It's a marvelous. We are an amazing interaction of the physical with energy and with spirit in matter. So we're having the discussion of why would spirit come into matter, which is us. So why did what that part of us that is our spirit want here to do on earth? And it may be just to experience it, because matter, living in matter, is different than being an etheric being. It also could be, what I'm thinking is wanting a shift in this particular planet, in this particular matter and deciding that it's worth coming into human life and living the life of a human being in order to have that impact. And that's why many of us, once we've finished growing up and, and into our 30s, we start getting this urge to study more, to learn about different things that we hadn't done before, or we didn't think were part of our future when we were teenagers and college kids. So at some point, our spirit says it's time to get to work. It's time to expand your viewpoint of how this whole world functions and how you function and the role that you play within it. In my particular place, that took me into, first of all, running daycare centers. I didn't think I'd ever do that. Then I went into training adults. And then as sidelines, I also studied massage therapy and energy work. And that's how I ended up making my living at the end of my years in the working world. And I'm a cranial sacral therapist, an energy worker, and a spiritual mentor. Nothing that I would have thought when I was in high school or college that I would have ever done. So we have to listen, and we have to pay attention, and we have to decide what we want to. There comes a time in our lives where we say, there's got to be more than just this making, having a job, paying the rent, raising the kids. And when we decide that, the intention is, I'm going to find them more. And when you say you're going to find them more, then your attention starts getting drawn to different things. In my case, it was drawn to Native American spirituality. It was drawn to Qigong and Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine. It was drawn to energy work. And a lot of times you may not know why you're studying something or why you're drawn to something, but its time is shown. And one of the things that I know now is that there is a power in intention. I'm going to listen to this. I'm going to search for the more. There's power in paying attention and following where you are, something that pings you. There's power in action, where, you take the course, you study something, you go out of your way to discuss or do something, so that it starts sorting itself within your mind and your body and your spirit about what is yours to do. You think that we're all born with ours to do, and we're all born with a gift to bring to the earth. And it isn't automatic that the power of that gift is present in you. A lot of times, because it's done through matter and through the energy of this planet, it takes time for you to live what you came here to be and do and have. So it's fascinating conversation. It's like, whole system thinking, where we have to, in whole system thinking, you examine something in its context of active participation with all of its parts and with outside of it. And that can throw your little brain, particularly when we're taught, when we're young, a very linear model of thinking and action. So I often found that in that process of becoming, I had to pay attention to what was appearing in my field and look at it and sense into whether it was for me or not for me. And I think you've probably had the same experience. So we pay attention to our sentience, which is that gut knowing, those emotions, that energy running through you that alerts you to something that is either life enhancing for you, part of your next step, or is life defeating. Stay away from it. Dangerous. And the more that each of us pays attention to our internal sentience, into our internal knowing, the more we will be able to live our eternal function our eternal gift to this planet and to this earth and to the universe. Because energy never disappears. It's just reformed in different forms of matter. And you're a gift. I'm a gift. And we were gifted with these bodies to live in this world and see how we could interact with it in a way to love it and enjoy it, as well as give something back to it, so that humanity becomes all that it could be. Humanity has been shortchanged for a long time now. Whatever we were meant to be in our inception was robbed from us, I think. I feel like that. And we can bring humanity back its to original design. But each of us has got, and each of us in that process have to pay attention. What is the more that you're after? And maybe you don't know more. You just say, I am going to open up to more. The more of there is in the actual interaction of my body and my spirit and my mind on this planet in this lifetime now. There's lots of places that come to this discussion. If you're interested in having further discussion with us, you can join my next stories, old stories, new stories, on the Language of Consciousness Institute in our store. Let's go to the events page. Or you could just start doing it. Follow what you are pinged to. Pay attention to how your body feels when something is life enhancing for you, and how does your body express itself when something's life defeating. Just knowing that, just paying attention to it alone, can help guide you towards more a life that is more of what you came here to be and came here to do and came here to have. Have a lovely day, and we will see you next week.